Is there a perfect morning routine for people with ADHD? Yes, there is, and I'm here to tell you what it is. Be sure to stick with me to the end because not only am I going to share the perfect morning routine, I'm also going to tell you how to implement it and things to keep in mind so you can set yourself up for success. So let's get into it. I have ADHD, and if you do too, you know that sticking with routines can be, let's say, hard sometimes. I always thought that having a good morning routine was not possible for me until I came up with the formula for the perfect morning routine. The challenge is that the word routine implies consistency. And for us ADHDers, the concept of consistency is a challenging one, especially when it comes to modifying our behavior to be what we want it to be rather than what comes naturally to us. For me, when I set strict, you must do this at the same time every day expectations for myself, it's a recipe for failure. I can stick with that new routine for maybe a maximum of 2 weeks if I'm really motivated. But after that, whatever I've committed to inevitably falls off. If you're like me, those types of strict commitments are just not possible to be consistent with in the long term, and you have to stop setting those expectations for yourself. You, my friend, need to set yourself up for success, and that includes having a solid morning routine that works for you. So what makes the perfect morning routine for people with ADHD? There's 3 things. 1, it must be reasonable, something you can do consistently for the long term. 2, it must be flexible. Some mornings we have more time, some we have less, and the perfect morning routine needs to fit both. 3, it cannot require that you do specific tasks. Rather than making yourself do exactly the same thing every morning, you're going to do the same type of thing. But every morning, it's choose your own adventure. So what does that mean? Here is the formula for the perfect morning routine. Every morning, you're going to do these 3 types of things. You're going to do something for your mind, something for your body, and something for your environment. At least one thing of each. On mornings you have more time, you can do more than one of each. And on mornings you have less time, you can just do one for each and you're good. Here are some examples. Things you could do for your mind are things like journaling, writing, reading, meditating, listening to a motivational video. Things you could do for your body are stretching, going for a walk, working out, yoga. Things you could do for your environment are things like making your bed or tidying up. And within your own life, I'm sure you could think of a couple of other examples for each that you might enjoy doing. Let me give you a few examples. A quick routine would be your alarm goes off, you sit up, do a couple neck stretches, maybe some shoulder rolls, some cat-cows. That's something for your body. Then you get out of bed, make the bed. That's something for your environment. And then go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, give yourself a little gratitude, affirmations in the mirror while you brush your teeth. Something for your mind, and boom, you're done. Time to get into your day. A little bit of a longer routine would be maybe you get up, do some yoga, meditate for 20 minutes, and clean your kitchen. That might take you an hour. So on some days, you get to do a routine that is really quick, short, and sweet. On other days, when you have more time, you can do more. Here's how you're going to implement it. Over the next few days, I want you to observe what happens within the first 20 to 30 minutes of you being awake. Without being intentional about what you're doing, pay attention to what you do naturally, in what order, and how your body feels as you're starting your day. Particularly, I want you to take note of the things you already do consistently. And don't judge yourself here. If you hit snooze 4 times and then immediately pick up your phone and scroll social media, that's okay. Just observe it and pay attention to how it makes you feel. After a few days of observing, you might be surprised that you have more of a routine than you realize. It's just not a routine that you've intentionally chosen yet. So now that you know what you do in the morning and how it makes you feel, you're going to make note of the things that you want to keep in your routine and the things you want to get rid of. Then I want you to think about what you want to do to replace the things that you want to get rid of. The next morning, you're going to do your normal thing, but replace your old habits with the new habits that you want to start. The key to implementing this type of routine is to build it into what you already do naturally. That's why it's important to observe what you do now and then attach these 3 new habits either before or after the things that you already do naturally. This way, you're more likely to create a new structured routine that is in line with what you do naturally, and it will be easier to stick with. And there's a few things that I want you to keep in mind. If you don't do this every single day, don't beat yourself up about it. Just pick back up the next day. The second thing, make it visible. Write it on your bathroom mirror until it becomes second nature to you. Make a Post-it note that you put right next to your bed, something that says mind, body, environment. In the beginning, it is really important to have something in your environment that triggers this memory or triggers your doing this sequence of things. So look for ways to make things visible and accessible in your environment so that you can easily implement this system. The third thing I want you to do is pay attention to when you start to slip from this routine and you can't get back to it the next day after you've fallen off. If you can't do this consistently, or if it starts to get hard to do consistently, it might be a sign that there are some bigger mental health challenges going on that you want to take a closer look at. For me, I have these regular routines in place that make me happy and help me to live the kind of life I want to live. But when I find it hard to do those things, it's usually a sign that something bigger is going on that I need to look at. So when I can't do these things consistently that I know I like to do and that help me, then that is my trigger to talk to my therapist about what's going on, to sit and observe and think about what's happening in my life that is making it harder for me to consistently implement these things that I know I like to do. So keep that in mind as well, that if you're having a hard time doing things that are beneficial and helpful for you, it's probably a sign there's something bigger going on and you need to take a closer look at that. If you like this video, I post regular content about mental health and personal development for the neurodivergent community. So give me a follow if that's your thing and check out this next video.